Welcome back, YouTube. MN250 here, and for today's topic we will be talking about the 5 ways to stay alive on 2 wheels. Now, I'm by no means a subject matter expert at this, but through just my riding time and my time out on the road, I've learned these things that will help you guys stay alive while on 2 wheels, or even in your personal car. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of this video, any tips that you recommend that we take. Let's get geared up, let's get on the bike, and let's talk.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left.
Alright guys, and we're off. Well, alright guys, we're back on the 2 wheels. I know we've had a couple car videos here, but that's just what I've been doing. So, with today's video, like I stated in the intro, we're going to be discussing the 5 different ways, and it may end up being more than 5, maybe less than 5, but 5 ways nonetheless that can help you stay alive on 2 wheels. A lot of these things are going to seem like common sense to most people, but they're good reminders nonetheless. They help us check ourselves. So often people get on a motorcycle, they get overconfident, they go above their limits, and they end up paying the price for it, because at the end of the day, only you are responsible for you. Regardless of what the other person did, there are things that you could do to prevent an instance, something happening to you. Alright, tip number 1 for staying alive on 2 wheels. The first one is the most simplistic of them all. The one thing that you can control, and that's your behavior. What I mean by behavior is the control of your vehicle, your attitude while you're on the road. All those things go together to affect your behavior while you're on the road. So often newer motorcyclists get on a bike, they've been on it for a couple seasons, they think that they know everything. They think that they're invincible and nothing can happen to them, and they're 100% wrong. You can't predict necessarily all the time what other people are going to do, and what you can control and what you can predict is how you act and how you respond. The first part of this is speed control. Don't ride faster than your guardian angel can fly, guys. You need to maintain control of your bike. Don't ride faster than you're comfortable with. And just generally be a responsible rider. The second part of that is making sure that your bike is in operable order and you have the right, mindset to be on 2 wheels, knowing that is a more dangerous means of transportation than taking your car out. You definitely want to be visible while you're on a bike. I'm not huge into the, big yellow vests and everything like that. I like to wear black gear and stuff. I just go out the way they are, but I do simple maintenance items like making sure my taillights are working and making sure my turn signals work and my headlight works, so that when I go out on the road, I'm set up for the best ride I could possibly have, and other people can see me as best as they possibly can. On occasion, I also ride with my headlights on and high. Just make sure that you're ready for your ride. Make sure that you ride responsibly at a speed that you're comfortable with. Okay, number 2. It's predicting other motorists' behavior. And this can be done through 2 different ways. Identifying what their wheels are doing, and identifying what their eyes are doing and where their attention is focused. So this is a good intersection. This is an example of that. So as I'm approaching the intersection, I'm looking at the vehicles to my left, my right, and then I go back to the left, because those are the first guys that are going to come out on me. And I'm looking for their eye contact. Are they looking to the left away from me, or are they looking right at me? If they're looking right at me, I know I'm safe to go. If they're looking to the left, I know that they don't see me. And a lot of times what you'll see in that situation is you'll see someone start to roll a little bit, or they'll turn their wheels in the direction that they want to go, because they're more worried about their incoming traffic than what is in the lane that they intend to turn into, so they won't see you. Part of this is establishing that eye contact. Now, how do we go about establishing eye contact with other motorists when we're on a little bike? My motorcycle's got decently loud exhaust. I've got my lights on from the first tip. How do we establish that eye contact? The one way that you can establish eye contact with somebody while you're on your bike is make sure to use your horn. If I see somebody that's rolling out of an intersection, they don't have any eye contact with me, I'm gonna lay on that horn. I'm gonna establish a slower speed. I'm gonna step on my brakes, pull on my brakes gently. I don't want to lose control of my bike, and that will get their eye contact. In every one of those situations where I've had somebody pull out on me, slowing myself down and laying on the horn has reestablished the eye contact. They've realized I'm there and they've stopped. They've slammed on their brakes and they've stayed where they're at until I've passed, and then they proceed on their way, and they may or may not get a finger from me. Alright, and then tip number 3. See, we got the eye contact with that guy. He knows we're there. Alright, tip number 3 is eliminating distractions. Motorcyclists, along with car drivers, both are bad at this, right? We all have distractions, whether it's pretty lights, our phone mounted up on one of these RAM mounts here, you're talking into a GoPro camera like I am, and you bring your eyes down. You bring your eyes down to something, you check your speed, or you're fucking around, or you're screwing around with your mode button on your bike, changing the modes, and you bring those eyes down, and you become a distracted driver. Now, coming up to a red light like this, it may have been green shortly before. I didn't realize that the cars in front of me were slowing down. What's going to happen with that? Well, my front tire is going to go into the back bumper of that car, and I'm probably going to go through their rear window. So what you want to do to keep yourself from being distracted is eliminate things like these RAM mounts. You know, if you have a scene on your helmet or a cardo, you know, maybe wait to take that phone call or change that song or answer that text message until you've stopped the bike and you've gotten out of the way. So yeah, the point of that one is just stay focused. Eliminate those distractions and it'll pay off in the end. Number 4 is following distance. Now, what should your following distance be? Yeah, I would say it's probably approximately 3 cars lengths in front of you. And it obviously depends on the speed that you're going, the type of vehicle you're driving, whether it's a cruiser or a sport bike. But the bare minimum should definitely be 3 cars lengths. So why do we choose 3 car lengths? You know, I'm in fact probably under that following distance right now. But we pick 3 cars lengths because cars do silly things. People in cars, they can afford to do those silly things. They can slam on their brakes, they can take hard turns, they can do a number of things. And then to avoid hitting them and us overreacting and maybe laying the bike down, we've got to give ourselves that following distance to be able to react. Following distance can be maintained 2 different ways. You can either slow your speed and allow that person to have more space, releasing the throttle, applying brakes, whatever way you need to give yourself more room in front of you. Otherwise, the reason, or technique number 2 is just to generally change lanes. Now, if the lane next to you is open and that lane is totally clear, why not move into that lane where you have less resistance and there's less people around you to, you know, slam on their brakes or hurt you? So again, we go back to slowing down or moving over to get yourself out of the way of hazardous traffic. And tip number 5, the final one, is always knowing where your escape path is. You want to know where your escape path is so that if the vehicle in front of you stands on the brakes, they make a quick turn, someone else pulls out from an intersection because they didn't have that eye contact. Let's say all these other tips failed, you have that one. So throughout your ride, you want to check your mirrors for the position of other vehicles around you. You want to see what they're doing. Now, if this person in front of me in this Toyota decides to slam on their brakes, I know right now from checking my mirrors and looking over my shoulder that there's no one in the lane next to me and I can swerve around that. That did come in handy once for me. When a lady just blatantly pulled out right in front of me, she did not catch me even though I laid on my horn. But I knew that there was a median there, just a flat median, just lines on the road that I could move into and slow down safely without locking up the brakes or sliding the bike down. But always have awareness of your surroundings, know what's going on around you, know who's where, know who's doing what. And you should be pretty safe. But that about wraps it up for today's video, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. I love you. Keep the rubber side down. And we'll see you next time.